Today's recipe calls for some onion. I'm going to show you how to make sweet and sour tofu. It comes together fairly quick and easily, and there's a couple surprising ingredients in this recipe. So with that said, let's get started. The first thing we need to do to make this dish that has an abundance of flavor is prep our protein. Crack open the package of tofu, drain off all the liquid that is in the container. The total weight of tofu that we're gonna need is 14 ounces or 397 grams worth. While the tofu is still in its original holding apparatus, give the tofu a good squeeze to wring out as much water as you can. Following that, grab a clean kitchen towel, wrap that tofu in it. Give it a light squeeze once it's in the towel. Alright, now that the protein is wrapped like a burrito, place some heavy objects on top. I went with a small stack of plates. If you're going to use a stack of something breakable, make sure it's not on the edge of your work area. Just in case things shift, you don't want your things falling. The reason we're doing this step is to pull out as much excess moisture out of the tofu as possible. This will help give our tofu a nice crispy texture. Set this stuff aside for now so we can move on to prepping the rest of the ingredients. Start by snagging a medium white onion. Cut the top off, which is the opposite end of the hairy side. Following that, split the onion into 2 equal sections. We'll only be using half, so save the other half for another recipe. Peel all the paper skins off the side you have chosen. After you've done that, cut the veg into 4 medium-sized sections from side to side. Start on one end making the sections, following the natural curve of the onion to make the next couple sections. When doing this, cut as close to the root as possible without cutting through it. Following the side-to-side cut, give the onion a turn so we can cut the opposite way now. Cut the same medium-sized sections again, cutting from the top towards the root end of the veg. For this recipe, we're keeping our veggies nice and chunky. Once it's cut, set it aside for now so we can move on to the next item, which is 1 medium-sized green pepper. There are 2 ways of taking the core out. I like doing the first version. Cut the top and bottom off the pepper so we can take the core out. We'll use the tops and bottom of the pepper, so don't throw them out. You can also eat them as a snack. If you're going to use them like I am, just rip the stems off the top first. Then cut them into the same medium chunk. Now onto the big portion of the pep. Make a single cut straight down one side of the pepper. Then lay the pepper on its side. Find the cut you just made. Place your blade inside of that. Then slowly follow the curve of the veg on the inside. Doing this method will cut out the core and the rib parts at the same time. The other version you can use is pull the core and seeds out by hand once the top and bottom have been cut off. Whatever version you use, ensure you discard all the pepper seeds. A pro tip, it's more manageable to cut the large sections of pepper into 2 equal ones. Following that, cut the pepper into sticks that are about 1/4 inch wide or medium in thickness. After the sticks are made, cut the pep into the same size chunks as the onion. Once cut, set it aside for now. Now onto the vampire repellent, known as garlic cloves. We'll be using 6 medium to large cloves. Start by cutting both ends off each piece, then give them a light smash. Doing this will make it easier to do the worst task, which is peeling these little pesky things. Alright, now that you have naked garlic, let's start cutting them. Thinly slice the garlic into little chips of goodness. Once cut, set it aside for now. Pro tip, thoroughly clean your knife and cutting board after you cut the garlic. The reason why you want to do this is because you do not want to transfer that garlic flavor over to our pineapple. We'll end up with more fruit than we need. So when you want a sweet, delicious snack, you don't want it tasting garlicky. With that said, the next ingredient we need to prep is a medium-sized pineapple. Cut the top and bottom off and discard them. Do your best to only cut as much as you need to. We do not want to waste this fruity good stuff. Now that you have a flat top and bottom, we need to peel the pineapple. Starting at the top, slowly cut the skin off, following the curve of the fruit until you hit the bottom. Keep your blade as close as you can to the skin, this way you do not cut too much into the meat of the fruit. Once it's peeled, if you left behind any little eyes of the peel, like I did, simply cut them off. In the end, you should be left with just a yellow hunk of stuff. Following that, split the pineapple into 2 equal sections. After you've done that, lay the fruit flat side down, then cut it in half once again. This will make it easier to cut the core off the fruit. You can accomplish this by leaving it flat on your cutting board and then cutting into it sideways to cut out the core, or standing the entire piece upright and cutting the core off that way. This way is a little bit more challenging, so the flat way might be the best way to go. To tell what's core and what's not, you should notice the core is lighter in color compared to the meat of the fruit, and it'll be a lot harder in texture as well. Alright, once the core is out, it's time to dice this stuff up. Take the big sections of pineapple and cut it down into about 3 long sections, more or less depending on how big the half piece is. The long section pieces should be roughly a 1/4 inch thick in width. After that, give things a 1/4 turn and cut the sticks into a small dice. We're shooting to collect 9 ounces or 250 grams worth of this stuff. Once cut, set it aside so we can clean up the pineapple sticky fruit juice mess that it left behind. Onto the other aromatic ingredient, which is 0.6 ounces or 15 grams of fresh ginger. I find that using a spoon is the best way to peel off the ginger skins. Cut off any dry or unpleasing parts of the ginge. Now that you've taken off the skin, snag a microplane and grate the ginger into a small container for now. If using a stick grater like I am, run your fingy down the backside to knock loose everything that is stuck. If you do not have a microplane, you can simply mince the ginger instead. The last item we need to cut is 3 green onions. Cut the tip of the green onion off. This part is usually dry and no good. After that, cut the green onion into little rings. It's imperative to use a sharp knife for this job. Using a dull knife will crush the green onion, causing it to turn dark in color and ruin the flavor. The pieces will stick to your blade. Use this as a measuring tool for the next set of cuts. Set the scallions aside for later. Let's start making our sauce for the dish. Snag a medium-sized holding apparatus, dump in a lightly packed 1/3 cup or 65 grams dark brown sugar. Once in the bowl, break up any large pieces of sugar that are stuck together. In a liquid measuring device, measure out a 1/4 cup or 59 mils rice vinegar, or white vinegar if that's all you have. In the same cup, measure out a 1/4 cup or 59 mils water. Following that, add 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. Add the liquid to our bowl of brown sugar. Next, add the last ingredient, which is a 1/4 cup or 58 grams of ketchup. Whisk your face off to bring everything together. Keep whisking until all of the sugar has dissolved into the liquid. After that's occurred, give it a taste test and adjust the flavor profile as needed with the ingredients we just added. I wanted mine to have some more acid, so I dropped in a little more rice vinegar with a teeny tiny pinch of coarse ground kosher salt to help bring out more of the natural flavors. When you hit the flavor profile you enjoy, set the saucy stuff to the side. Now we can get back to the protein portion of this recipe. We'll need a medium to large bowl, so grab one of those. Then start to tear the tofu into medium-sized pieces. Toss them into the holder of goods. You can also cut the tofu, but this way is just easier and it will give us a different type of eating experience. Following that, make it rain 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and a small pinch of salt. The soy sauce will add flavor and will help with the next step. Give things a gentle mix around to coat it all in the soy sauce. Following that, sprinkle 1/3 cup or 40 grams cornstarch, or as the UK calls it, cornflour. I like doing this in 2 sets just to ensure things are well mixed together. Keep mixing things about until all the tofu pieces are coated in the cornstarch. Adding the cornstarch will help the tofu build a nice crispy crunchy texture once it's cooked. The tofu will soak up some of the starch, which is fine. You do not want to add any more of the starch. If you add too much, the end product will just taste like cornstarch. Also, mix with a gentle touch because we do not want our tofu to fall apart and disintegrate too much. Alrighty, now that everything has been really well dusted in the cornstarch, Snag a large saute pan or skillet and collect all of your ingredients we just prepped. Take all this nonsense over to your cooking element. Crank the heat level to a medium-high level of hotness. Allow the pan to become all hot and steamy. To check if your pan is ready to go, toss in a few water droplets. If they immediately turn into spheres and dance around the pan, it's ready to go. Wipe away any water that is present in the pan. Following that, immediately drop in a high heat oil. It'll become hot in just a few seconds, so we need to drop the tofu in right after the oil. Make it into one even layer to ensure we achieve a nice golden crust on the tofu. Allow this first side to cook for 3 to 4 minutes or until the tofu becomes a nice golden brown color and the tofu becomes crispy. Once that has happened, give the protein a flippy floppy. Repeat the same cooking process until the other side has also become a nice golden brown color. You may have to turn the heat level down to prevent things from burning. If the pan has become dry, add in another teaspoon or 2 of oil. Do not overdo it with the oil because the tofu will soak it up and it'll become really oily and greasy. During the cooking process, the tofu will stick together, so we need to break it up into individual pieces so we can achieve a good cook on all of it. After you're happy with the cook on the protein, clear the pan out, placing the goods in a bowl. Turn the heat down to a low medium. Once it's empty and the heat has been lowered, add the diced onion into the saute pan. Give the onions a toss around to coat the goods in the oil, then give it a good pinch of coarse ground kosher salt. Saute this for 4 to 5 minutes or until things become a light golden brown color. Once those have cooked, add the bell pepper in next. Season it with coarse ground kosher salt. Mix the two ingredients together. Saute them for 5 to 6 minutes or until they start to turn a dull green color. When the peppers have lost that bright green color, dump the pineapple in. Saute it for 4 to 5 minutes or until the pieces become tender in texture and have slightly caramelized. Once it's cooked, open a well in the center of the saute pan. Add the sliced garlic in next. Cook the stinky breath mint for 30 to 40 seconds or until it becomes fragrant in smell. Following that, dump the ginger in next. Cook this for the same amount of time. Give things a good mix about so it's one giant mess of ingredients. Now that all the veg and fruit has been cooked, add the tofu back to the saute pan. Mix that in with the other ingredients. Alright, now that everything is in the saute pan, we need to add the sauce in. Before you add it though, give it a quick mixer. Pour all the liquid into your pan. It'll create a small amount of steam, so beware of that hot and steamy cloud of vapors. Scrape the bowl clean to get all of those tasty liquids out. No need to waste anything. Once all the liquid is in the pan, use it to deglaze all the fond that's stuck on the bottom. Fond is the small layer of stuff that is stuck on the bottom of the saute pan. This is all flavor and we want all that good stuff. Mix things around to coat it all in the saucy goodness. Allow everything to cook until the sauce has reduced by about half and has become thick. Cook this over a medium heat. Keep stirring things to prevent stuff from burning. Once most of the liquid has reduced and has cooked off, give it a taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed with coarse ground kosher salt. When you've hit the flavor profile you like, take the saute pan off the heat source. Now it's time to plate this business up. Oh yeah, hopefully you made some rice to go along with this sweet and sour tofu. I have a full video on it, so I'll leave a link below so you can go check that out. Anyways, grab your favorite eating vessel, throw down a scoop of the jasmine rice, mount it nice and high to get that sweet aesthetic look. Following that, add a couple spoonfuls of the sweet and sour tofu over the top of the rice. Garnish the dish with some scallions and some toasted sesame seeds. Make a huge portion of this dish and serve it family style for dinner or make this for meal prep. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy. Alright, now that our sweet and sour tofu dish is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, came out looking really dang scrumptious. It looks like it's going to be packed with a bunch of goodies, from the pineapple, the green bell peppers, all those little garlic chip slices in there. The sauce itself looks nice and glazy and is the perfect consistency, has a little bit of sheen to it, and it coated everything really dang well. The green onions on top make it look pop with that color and make it look bougie, and of course the rice gives it some volume and just looks all together put together really well. So let's give it a shot. Try to get a bite with everything in it. This thing came out so dang good. The first thing that hits your palate is that sweet and sour sauce. It's a bit sweet on the front end from all that dark brown sugar that we added. Then that acid really brightens it up from our rice wine vinegar. That soy sauce brings a bit of saltiness as well, and that umami flavor. Then of course you get that distinct tomato ketchup-y flavor. Somehow it all works really well together. That tofu stuff itself came out really good as well. We get a nice base of flavor from our garlic, our ginger, and our onion. Then you get that distinct flavor from that bell pepper as well. Then you get slapped upside the head from that pineapple in there. It's nice and acidic and bright and brings that tropical fruity flavor, but it's not overpowering by any means. Somehow it just works really well and brings a good brightness to the dish as well. Texture-wise, the veggies are nice and crunchy, and there's a little bit of an al dente texture to our pineapple as well, which helps counterbalance the softness of the tofu. Even though some of the pieces are crispy, not all of them, because it kind of soaked up that sauce. Talking about the sauce, it came out perfect. It's the nice, perfect consistency. It's not too sticky, it's not too thin. It just coats your mouth and coats all of the veggies and tofu really well. And of course, the jasmine rice is good because we all know it's tasty. Then the green onions on top bring a little bit of crunch and that green onion flavor as well. Overall, it's just really dang good, and my head kind of hurts now. This recipe is crazy easy to make. It's perfect for a weeknight meal or to make as meal prep. And you can make it any which way you want. Make it more nutrient dense by adding shredded carrots or some cabbage or shredded broccoli or basically anything that you enjoy. Or make it even better by adding some red pepper flakes to make it nice and spicy. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna do some stuff tonight, so I need to get a bunch of other things done before I go out on the town, as they say. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I knew what I was gonna say, but then I forgot it, and this happened all the dang time. All the time. And what else is in the sauce? The soy sauce, maybe. Might have to use the ingredient list to look down and remember what's all in this, even though there's not that much. It's just one of those days. Even better by adding some red pepper flakes. Pepper. Maybe make it more nutritionally more dense in the nutrition factor department. And you can make it any which way you want. Maybe add some more vegetables. My hair is kind of messed up.